Are you in your 40s and you haven't yet started saving for retirement? Don't worry, it's not too late. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and share with you some benefits of investing in your 40s and some tips and strategies in order to get to that retirement goal before you reach the retirement age. Hi, it's Dr. Joanna Ray from Sustainasoul, where we talk about soulful and sustainable living, including financial resilience. And that is one of the topics which actually is near and dear to my heart. As part of this channel is also documenting my financial independence journey. I myself did not start getting serious about investing for retirement until I was in my 40s. I actually was getting very concerned in my late 30s, and I was doing an evaluation of my finances, and I realized that I was really behind in terms of saving for retirement. So what did I do? I found out as much information as I could. YouTube University really did wonders, but I knew that I needed to get started right away, as time was not on my side. So what I did was I started looking at compound interest calculators. I'm going to go ahead and link some below so you can actually look at these compound interest calculators. I started looking at my numbers and seeing how long it would take me to get to my retirement number before I reached 60. And it was very shocking to me. Like I said, I felt behind. I looked at the numbers and I was behind. The good thing was I was making the most amount of money that I had ever done in my life. And so I was in a very good financial position to start putting more and more of my salary to investing in my future. I had just purchased a car in 2017 and I had paid it off in 4 years, which meant that by the time I was 41, I had paid off my truck. Up until then, my ability to put huge chunks of my salary was actually a little bit hindered, as my payment was roughly $800 a month. I know it sounds a lot, but cars are very expensive here in Thailand, and I had gone a little bit more aggressive to try to pay off my truck as early as possible. Once I had paid off my truck, I could put around $1,500 per month towards my retirement, and I was doing that at a steady pace, dollar cost averaging, whether the market was down, whether the market was up, and at some points it was very up. It actually reached all-time highs. I started investing in things like VOO, VTI. If you don't know what these are very common ETFs, exchange traded funds. VOO is actually the S&P 500, which is a basket of about 500 of the biggest stocks in America, biggest companies, and also VTI, which is the US Total Stock Market ETF. Both of these are held by Vanguard. Now, VTI, just as a comparison, has nearly 4,000 stocks in it, but between VOO and VTI, there's actually over an 80% overlap. So whether you choose to go VOO or VTI or something similar, they are not much different. In fact, their returns are very similar. I have both in my portfolio, so as a disclaimer, please do not take this as financial advice, and I do own both VOO, VTI, VFIAX, and also a bit of QQQM, which is the NASDAQ 100 ETF, which includes 100 of the top stocks on the NASDAQ, which is another stock exchange. So those are my main investments. I was dollar cost averaging for about 2 years, and I have actually reached $100,000 invested in the stock market. Now, actually about 6,000 of that is invested in crypto, but for technicality purposes, I'm gonna say that I reached 100K. And in fact, at this point, I have surpassed that, and I've in excess of the 6,000, which is invested in crypto. So one of the things that you need to do first as you get on your retirement investment journey is to assess your financial situation. I luckily, except for my truck, did not have much debt, and I was well on my way to paying off my truck before the scheduled payments. You look at, whether you have credit card debt, student loans, mortgage, car debt, and so on. And anything that you have to actually pay off is still considered a liability. It's something which takes money out of your profit. What we want to do is we want to decrease those liabilities, decrease those debts, bring them down to zero, except for maybe your mortgage. So anything that has a high interest rate, try to knock those out right away. I subscribe to the avalanche method of debt repayment, although some people subscribe to the snowball method, which is actually going for the smaller loan amounts first and knocking those out before going to the next largest amount. Now, once you have your debts cleared off, you have more money to put towards investment. But I wouldn't wait until all of your debts are paid off to start investing in the stock market. One of the key things that you must have prior to investing in the stock market is to have an emergency fund. If you want to know more about building an emergency fund, please check out my video here. It should help you with some of the details. So I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of investing strategies in this video. I just wanted to say that broad-based index funds is the way to go. If you want to hear about J.L. Collins and his Simple Path to Wealth book, I have a review, which I'll link above, which you can check out as well, which is one of the things which really got me started on index funds, which are low-cost investment strategies that are very easy to implement. And lastly, always review your strategies. Don't just dollar cost average and leave it at that. If some of your investment strategies need to be revamped, please keep those in mind. For example, I recently had to take out a chunk of money from a very low interest investment, and I will then either put it in a high yield savings account, which at this time is earning about 5%, or dumping that money into the stock market. So don't stick with investment strategies. That investment strategy worked 10 years ago, and at this point in time, that thesis which I had when I made that investment no longer makes sense. So do review your strategies. However, for the most part, you're gonna be DCAing or dollar cost averaging into the market for the long term, which could be decades. In my case, 20 years before I reach retirement. And if you want to see the video where I show my calculations of the amount that I need for retirement, I'm gonna go ahead and link it above. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and I just wanted to leave you with, it's not too late to start. Get started immediately, track your expenses, get an emergency fund, pay off your debts, invest in whatever strategy you set forth for yourself in order to reach your retirement goals. And if you like this video, please click like and check out my next video, which is on my financial independence journey.